Hello, ladies and gentlemen, signori e signori, mesdames et messieurs. Here we are again for a special, very short episode of Good Night and Good Luck, just to have a roundtable comments about what is happening in Capitol Hill in these hours. I think that more or less all of us, we are all aware of what happened. But if someone in this room want to have or make a recap, it would be great. What happened?
I didn't want to laugh before the first minute, actually, because I think I have one thing to say first and foremost. I think that it's pretty tough to not be overblown by what happened and to perhaps not understate the impact and the importance of what happened. I think that if what we are seeing was not happening in the United States, but basically in any other country in the world, really any other, we would be very, very more clear cut in our language to define this as an attempted coup. We've seen, like, for example, I remember very distinctly with a clear mind what happened in Turkey in July 2016, and I remember some there were like movie scenes with President Erdogan connected via FaceTime. That was a coup against him, allegedly. This is different because this is something that has been authorized both morally and basically also practically, because this sort of protest was organized by the campaign committee of the President of the United States, and this has a clear signature. I think we are going to see in the next hours lots of White House senior staff, members of the administrations, Republican senators, representatives, whatever. They're trying to distance themselves while they were going to put a charade in Congress to avoid and delaying the certification of the results of the election today before any of that or what we are seeing and you are seeing if you are following us live on the image of NBC happened today. I think that from what I'm basically reading into the words, I don't think that Donald Trump is now the president of the United States. I don't know if that is a sentence I say either morally or practically, because we have reports that, for example, the decision to send in the National Guard to disperse these rioters and these, I would say, terrorists, because they cause terror. And the decision was taken by the vice president and not by the president itself. And apart from some tweets that were removed and some crazy and lunatic videos that were removed as well by social media, we have not heard from Donald Trump. And I will try to not say the name Mr. President anymore. I would just call him by his name. I have no idea about what will happen starting from today. Surely from today, it's a different game. That's for sure.
Yeah. The question is for everyone. which are the metrics of these manifestation of violence and these disrespectful position towards the very nature of democracy that Joe Biden, president-elect, has defined not a protest, but some sort of, I don't remember exactly the word, but a movement or a revolution, I don't remember. The question is for everyone, which are the metrics of this? What does President Trump, because I agree with anybody, he's still president. What does President
We
Trump
have to assume it is.
want
It could
to?
not be, but if it is not, if it's not, it's still, if it isn't right now, I don't think we are going to know that for at least 12 hours, if not more, because if you announce now that Donald Trump is no longer the president, you will see mayhem even more than there is right now.
But my question is, which is the metrics? What kind of objective he wants to achieve? Is this the starting? It seems like it seemed like an attempt of coup d'état, but it seems to me more like the starting of a civil war, or the creation definition of a political platform that I don't think that will bring Donald Trump again in the White House in 4 years, but I think that it's a political social platform that can create problems in the next 4 years. The question is for everyone. Who wants to start? Which is the final aim of it?
If I may start, I'll be very quick. I will consider this from two different perspectives. One is in the short term, one is in the longer term. In the short term, clearly, in my opinion, he understood that he has no more chances to get to the presidency, and therefore he tries to sustain his basis in order to make the lives as hard as possible to Biden, and to create some sort of heritage, and to maintain and to try in any way possible to undermine the leadership of Biden and his legitimacy. But in longer terms, we can see some.
We are not listening properly to you, Lorenzo. Sorry. Lorenzo, sorry to interrupt you, but we haven't listened you properly. Do you hear me, guys?
Yes. Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, yeah. We had a blackout. I don't know why. Lorenzo is still freezed.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone else. Go, Alex.
I am not conscious on what could be the future of this. I don't think there is an aim, because nobody expects something like that, really. I don't think neither Trump I expect something like huge like this. But the important thing is these things set a precedent in the history of American democracy. Because if something like that can happen in Russia with Yeltsin in 1993, because some people goes in the parliament and occupies it, in America never happened something like that for these reasons. So I think this is the most shine thing that comes about that, because it's in America. There was a lot of coincidence, because this is the year of coronavirus, and the years of populism, and surely that helped that kind of thing. But nobody expected that could be so huge. I only want to say that.
Yeah, thank
If
you.
I may add something, I am not very sure about the fact that this was totally unexpected, because like I do have few friends who live here in America, and they were always very worried that something very big was happening. So I did have this feeling, and of course, I was always telling myself that this was something that never happened, all of this apocalypse, but now we are seeing it. And the most threatening thing that we can tell, like that it's really frustrating me, is that Donald Trump sympathized with these rioties. So, like, it's unauthorized insurrections. So this is the main point that really shocked me, because of course, as Alex said, there was something big, but I guess that we expected, and I did not expect it to see like that. I thought that Trump at the end would take his own decision, would make his move, would take his step, but he made some, he sympathized and by saying you are special even to the riotees. So that was something that totally threatened me a lot.
Yeah, I agree with Lydia. I called a couple of hours ago a friend of mine who lives in Washington, and he said to me that they were expecting something big. Well, I don't know if they expected something like that, but people were more ready than the cops, I think. So, and I think that one of the most significant aspects of these protests, or how we decide to call them, is that they were made not against the institution, but in the name of institution. And this was what made me freeze. Because the typical democratic situation has been completely overthrown, like in the name of institutions.
Yeah.
I feel like this is more, well, obviously like about sending a message. Like it has a huge symbolic value to it. Like the people invaded the White House, the home of the president, and even though the coup d'état didn't plan out well, it's still a symbolic coup d'état that they actually took the presidency back for a second, in a sense. And it's, as the White House is supposed to be one of the probably the safest places on, like, at least in the US, and now something like this happens. It's sending a message to the world, and then all the violence and hassle going inside, and then people, like now we can see on the live the barricading of the doors with furniture, and then the amount of resistance put up by the police is, comparing to the Black Lives Matter protest, for example, is very small, and it's just drawing the gap between the controversies even deeper. And I feel like the message they're sending is about that they're not accepting the new president, and this is just a step in the process of whatever the future might bring, chaos or further division.
And what kind of president could be Biden for these people if they don't accept him only because they don't vote for him? I don't know really.
I want to underline the fact that in the meantime, Lorenzo, you're back. Do you want to add something? I have muted you. Switch on your mic and tell something. No, you're off.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So, yeah, I was just saying that in the long term perspective, this can be seen as something as the birth or beginning of a crisis of the system we know as the system we live in, at least in the Western world, like with democracies, neoliberalism, globalization, capitalism, is not going to be at the end, but it might be the beginning of a crisis. And we need, in this period, more than ever, I think, a strong leadership. And this is going to be, in my opinion, the biggest challenge for Biden's presidency, more than economy, more than the coronavirus pandemic, more than anything else, to reestablish, if we want to keep living in the world as we know it, at least my generation, as we've come to know it, we need for Biden to be a strong president, able to reestablish the leadership of the values that we thought we share, but apparently that are entered in crisis. And we see this moment, in my opinion, as being like the explosion of these feelings that were like uncovered before, and with Trump, they were allowed to come out. And in this moment, the supporters, Trump supporters, had the opportunity to express them at highest level possible. It was something possible. It was a moment in which everything was possible, and the image, and then I land, that most shocked me was like the photograph of us, a protester in the office of Nancy Pelosi's office. Like, it was really against the system, in favor of one man. It was like, as you said, it was in favor of the system. I think it was in favor of one man against all the system. And that's the most dangerous thing, in my opinion. Like, it was against the institutions that were never being contested before, because there is no basis to contest Nancy Pelosi's authority. But it was in name of Trump against everyone else and everything else. Also the vice president of Trump's administration, and this is very shocking.
Yeah,
I agree with Lorenzo, even because they said the system failed because Biden was the winner, but is not the real winner. So not is the favor of the institutions as we know them today.
I think we could. No, please, Martina.
I just wanted to say that what Lorenzo has just said, the fact that it is the idea of a man against all the institutions, has came out very clear when Trump publicly accused his vice president Mike Pence of not be brave enough to do what has to be said, what has to be done, or say what has to be said. So there is also a split within the Republicans and within the president and his own vice president. And this is a signal of too much diversity between two men who should be very close with each other.
Yeah, and that's why many people are starting talking about the 25th Amendment from the vice president, like, since also Leader McConnell is against Trump at the moment, like trying to remove Trump from the presidency.
Yeah, if I may say something, then Ennio, on a political level, to me, it's pretty clear that it was everything but unexpected. It was pretty well organized inside and outside Capitol Hill, because also in the building there were people that were expecting the other people outside the building to do something. I think that the objective is pretty clear. Of course, not to stop the Biden nomination as president, because it's not possible, but to reinforce a political and social platform. Also, because with these images, Donald Trump has demonstrated to his people that they are not heard by the system. They are mismanaged by the system. They are seen by the system as enemies. So reinforcing all the storytelling around that kind of anti-establishment movement. My point is that it's incredibly powerful from a symbolic level. We know that every time a country that have been under dictatorship, then military forces, internal or external to the country, decide to put down the main statue of the dictator in the biggest square in the city. That's a symbol of something that is happening. Okay, that is happened and is happening. Those photos, that man in the Nancy Pelosi office, the man dressing like, I don't know, a buffalo or something, half naked.
I
in the
knew.
Can I add something to that guy? Because there is the guy has like a lot of tattoos on his chest, and those are like Nordic pagan symbols, which are nowadays associated with extremist right-wing people. And he had like the three most prominent symbols tattooed on his body, which were like
Yeah,
right there.
just to be sure, just to be clear about their intention. And in the end of the day, these are very, very powerful images. Please, let's pay attention also on symbols. This is the story of the fragility of the democracy. Everything that we have always thought about democracy tonight is at risk. We have sometimes we have been very disappointed by an election. Think about the 2000 and 2000 Bush Gore. Think about Trump Clinton in 2016. Every time we have some kind of protests, but protests are people shouting things, maybe bad things, in front of a building. This is a military act. A military act that, by the way, and that's the most disturbing thing to me, apart from the actual death of a woman, which was terrible. The big point is that it was a military attempt to do something, and this military attempt achieved its goal. That's the point. The point is not having people, this is my opinion, in front of Capitol Hill with guns. The point is that they have bring that guns into Capitol Hill, and they have stopped the process of democracy. They have been successful on a lot of levels, on a symbolic level, on a political level, on a social level. Democracy is seriously damaged after tonight. And that's the reason why we are here in the middle of the night before the exam of statistics.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I'm seeing on social networks many pro-Republicans people supporting these kind of actions. But what I wanted to ask is that isn't it an objective fact that these actions are against democracy, and this is despite of the party you are willing to vote, both for Republicans and Democrats?
We have interviewed in our program in The Night in the Black the guy from Republicans Against Trump. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I remember it.
Okay, at a certain point, he has said something. I don't remember if it has been put in the final editing, but the question was, what do you dislike of Biden? The weapon policy. Why? Because I think that it's good to have a weapon in our houses in case of a serious threat to democracy. And for these people,
I do remember it.
So democracy is an agreement in between people. It works because it's an agreement. It works because it's not for sure or possibly the best way to manage public policy, but it's the best that we have found until now, and it's based on a deep agreement. It's a contest with defined rules. If you play by the rule, you can win, you can lose. But if you win, the others will accept their loss and accept your win, and vice versa. So here it's pretty clear that we don't agree anymore on the very basic rules of this contest. And the point is not anymore Donald Trump shouting against fraud. That's folklore. After tonight, that's folklore, nothing more. Now there's the contract in between the institution and the people has been damaged, and that's the big point. And we will need years and strong personality to rebuild this. And
Yeah.
Professor,
I completely agree. I just wanted to make this point clear because I think it's the most relevant of the whole discussion.
Absolutely.
Some people seem to not understand it.
Yeah. There was Lydia, maybe ladies first.
Thank you. I was saying that yes, even like the words leaders called on Trump to condemn this violence, but like I wanted to ask even something more. We said that all of these riots, all of this violence is not just because of who these people are voting for, Trump or Democrats or Republicans. So I was saying, I was thinking and asking to myself, is this something that would even damage the democracy, but not just in USA, not just in the next election of 2024, but in all over the world, like in Europe, Asia, and around all the world? So this is my question. Is it already damaging the democracy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
By the way, the big point is not the it is not a threat for the 2024 election. It's a
No, indeed. I mean,
it's a threat for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. That was
in US and all over the world, because it's all about privileges that you give to people to say or do something. The level of the debate, of the political and social debate in these years is generally defined as pretty low. Why? Because as opinion leaders and politicians, top class politicians, are changing the languages, are changing the metaphors and the symbolism, and they are allowing all the people that have always thought or always had a certain idea of the world to speak up, to show off. And this is another 1212 example of this kind of thing. Alex, then Ennio, then everyone.
I want to ask you on this point exactly. This is something that Trump created, or is something like in this moment we are revealed these sensations? Because yes, it is the question, because I don't understand if Trump lose in 2016. This movement should be.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Ennio, give him 1 minute and then I give you the floor. Sorry, because this is an incredibly good question. Thank you, Alex. These people are not these people. This is part of a population that have thought this way since the very beginning of the history. Okay, but in different ages. Okay. A Spiral of Silence, Elizabeth Noel Neumann. In different ages, someone feels himself or themselves allowed to speak up and to show off, and some others not. This is the time for the people who think this way in US and all around the world. If we want to be very specific, this is, for what I can understand, this is the result of the Tea Party movement in 2008. That was a result of a new conservatism of Ronald Reagan in the 80s. That was, by the way, defined in its origin, in its political origin, in the election of 1968. And the 1968 election was linked to the 1964, and we could go far away in the past. So what is new is the situation, are the images, the actions, and the results. But the ideas are everything but new. Ennio.
Okay, I'll try to go quickly and broadly. I don't think it's okay. Fires happens because you have heat, you have dry leaves that take heat. What someone could do, and surely Donald Trump has done, Donald Trump and many other political figures in the United States in the last 20, if not 30 years, is to blow on this fire. Blow on the fire, put some gasoline, put accelerants, and it is not the fact that tonight we have had few casualties because there are reports of a woman dead. Maybe there will be, hopefully not, there will be some additional reports on the figures. It's not that. This is, I don't think either it's the final point. This is a landing point of a process that has begun years and years ago, and has created a whole new field. What happened tomorrow? I don't think it's understanding. It's underrating what happened to say that it's really tough to understand and to say what happened, what will happen tomorrow. Yeah, of course. Now the Congress is reconvening and will certify, likely without any opposition, Joe Biden's win and Kamala Harris win. So in 2 weeks, Joe Biden will be the president of the United States. But I think that it's kind of irrelevant because this was not the point of today. This
was the legitimacy of the process. That was the
this
point.
was to attack. And I think that we're going late and we are all pretty tired. We have reconvened, and I think that reconvening tonight to trying to assess what has happened.
Francesco Costa just started a live.
Yeah, and also to let you go see the live. The live feed.
Siamo concorrenza.
And so I think that what I'm actually grateful to for the adventure we have and the course and the project we've done is that we've tried to build an open mind to trying to understand what happened in days like this, because I think that in the beginning on episode 1st of episode 2nd we say expect the unexpected, and this is pretty the description of unexpected. If we think on October, if we think on 2 weeks ago, maybe less unexpected, but if we think on October, yes, definitely unexpected. So let's see. Let's try to always have this attitude to trying to question what we are seeing, try to understand what we are seeing, and to put in perspective and try to see if there is a pattern, if there is a reasoning, whatever, to understand. Because it's also the best way not only to live this moment, but to try to plan and prepare for what lies ahead. Because if you would have thought a year ago that 365 days from that day we're going to see these scenes, I think that anyone could have told you that you either was a screenwriter for House of Cards or 24 or a lunatic. So, but we are seeing in real life what's happening. So let's see. And let's always keep that mindset.
Yeah. If you want to say something in the end, guys, this is the occasion. Otherwise, good night and good luck.
I just make a final remark about how in bad and good ways it feels like it's thrilling to live historic moments like this live. It's even if it's not a good history, maybe a good history page, it's still very thrilling to be here live.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Pardon?
It will leave a footprint for sure. I don't know in which way.
Yeah, we will see, and that's a disturbing thing. We can't imagine. I think. Thank you, guys. Thank you, the few but passionate people who has followed us. On behalf of everyone, thank you, everyone, and on behalf of all the people of the newsroom, good night and good luck. I think that we'll see you again somewhere. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Good night.